Good morning, everyone. I'm here. I hope you're all doing well. We have some terrific news to share. Ionis Pharmaceuticals has announced positive top-line results from its Phase 3 ESSENCE trial evaluating Olezarsen, also known as Tryngolza, for the treatment of moderate hypertriglyceridemia or HTG. Olezarsen met the primary endpoint, demonstrating a statistically significant reduction in triglycerides versus placebo. The drug also showed a favorable safety profile, which is key to establishing its long-term clinical utility and commercial viability. These positive results strengthen Ionis' competitive positioning in the lipid-lowering therapeutics market and open the door for near-term regulatory and commercial milestones, including a potential NDA filing in late 2025 or early 2026. I'll now briefly review the clinical highlights, including efficacy and safety. Next, I'll discuss the attractive market opportunity and Ionis' competitive advantages. Finally, I'll share our 6-month outlook, including key catalysts and our updated valuation. As noted, the ESSENCE trial is a Phase 3 study evaluating Olezarsen in adults with moderate hypertriglyceridemia, a condition marked by elevated blood triglyceride levels of 200 to 500 milligrams per deciliter. Olezarsen significantly reduced triglyceride levels in a dose-dependent manner. At the 80 milligrams dose, it achieved a placebo-adjusted reduction of 61% versus 58% at the 50 milligrams dose. Regarding safety, oleic acid was generally well tolerated. The most common adverse event was mild injection site reactions. No serious drug-related adverse events were reported. And there were no deaths, no withdrawals due to adverse events, and no new safety signals. Turning to our 6-month outlook, Ionis plans to present the full ESSENCE dataset at an upcoming scientific meeting in the coming months. The company also expects to report Phase 3 data from 2 other trials, CORE and CORE2, in the third quarter of 2025. CORE and CORE2 are evaluating Olezarsen in patients with severe hypertriglyceridemia. Top-line data from these trials, along with the full ESSENCE readout, should solidify Olezarsen's efficacy and safety profiles and support a near-term NDA filing for the drug's first indication in moderate HTG. Following that, Ionis anticipates presenting additional data from the ESSENCE trial at a major medical conference later this year. The company plans to initiate a second pivotal trial for Olezarsen in FCS, or familial chylomicronemia syndrome, later this year. In addition, Ionis is advancing a broad pipeline of RNA-targeted drugs, including several with cardiovascular indications. Now, let's discuss the market landscape. As noted, the target patient population for the initial Olezarsen indication is adults with moderate hypertriglyceridemia. This patient population represents approximately 25 million adults in the US alone. Many current lipid-lowering treatments for HTG are either poorly tolerated or show only modest efficacy, leaving a significant unmet need in this space. When evaluating competitors, we consider both qualitative and quantitative factors. Ionis' Olezarsen is currently in Phase 3 with the potential to become the first approved ApoC-III inhibitor for moderate HTG. This represents a significant first-mover advantage. Moreover, Olezarsen has demonstrated strong triglyceride reduction, 58 to 61% in this patient population versus 28% for Vascepa. Also, Olezarsen is being studied in both moderate and severe HTG, which could support broad adoption and payer alignment. While Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals' plozasiran and certain targeting ApoC-III has shown an impressive up to 80% TG reduction in a Phase 2 study, it remains at an earlier stage of development compared to Ionis' Olezarsen. Amarin's Vascepa, an 𝗜𝗢𝗡𝗜𝗏3 fatty acid, is approved for reducing cardiovascular risk in high-risk patients with HTG. However, its triglyceride-lowering effect is less robust, approximately 28%. Thus, it's typically used in combination with other therapies in severe or uncontrolled moderate HTG cases. Finally, 89bio's pegozafermin, an FGF21 analog, has shown approximately 60% triglyceride reduction in a phase 2 study. While the novel mechanism and emerging data are promising, commercial timelines and safety profiles remain to be fully validated. In summary, Olezarsen's advanced clinical stage, broad efficacy, and favorable safety give it a near-term commercial edge with clear differentiation in mechanism and regulatory headroom. Ionis can capture early market share, particularly in the moderate HTG niche where current treatment options leave much to be desired. With that, let's move to our 6-month stock price outlook. We see Ionis stock price appreciating by 15 to 25% over the next 6 months, barring any unforeseen setbacks. Our bullish thesis is predicated on ongoing investor enthusiasm for Ionis, positive sentiment towards Olezarsen following the Essence readout, continued support from the street, and positive updates from Core and Core 2 in the second half of this year. The stock could appreciate to the $38 to $42 range. Upward momentum towards $42 would likely be driven by a strong presentation at a major medical conference later this year and successful execution against Ionis' multiple catalysts, including the pivotal trials for Olezarsen and the potential NDA filing for its first indication in moderate HTG. Downside risks include competitive readouts from Arrowhead or 89bio, variability in regulatory feedback, and potential pushback from payers regarding formulary access and pricing. Stay tuned for more exciting updates. Thank you.